What is your view on the disability field? What should disability look like, feel like, act like, or sound like if, say, I'm guessing that you're like average Joe Schmuck with a few crazy eccentricities because of the facial tattoos. I mean, people with tattoos often get really bad remarks, just like people with disability. Yep. And unfortunately, I find you to be a very charismatic, understanding person, but at the same time, you might not be up on disability because most people think that disability should have some kind of look or action or statement. Yeah. And unfortunately, autism has none of those. I should know, I have. And I also have ADHD. That means that I get a lot of crap thrown at me when it comes to having an invisible disability. And everyone thinks that people should be male to have what I have. So in order to get diagnosed early, no science and no study with what I have is out there based on high functioning or more able-bodied functional autistics or ADHDers. There's good and bad in all issues. And unfortunately, people only see the male end of things. And it's time to wake up our community and as well as our studies and start promoting women in the disability area, whether they have some other borderline personality dysfunction or other. And I really don't care how you want to put it. I don't care if you swear. I don't care if you crap yourself right now. As long as you speak your mind on how you feel. Because I'm tired of the bigotry. I'm tired of people's blindness and arrogance and ignorance. Yeah. So you as an owner, state your feelings.
Yeah, it's very, especially, well, to begin with, I guess, in terms of, the facial piercings and stuff, that as itself has been really big in terms of being judgmental, things like that. So I also suffer with borderline personality disorder. I have a severe anxiety disorder as well as depression, and they do affect me day to day. There's been times where I've disappeared from work. I cannot function properly. I feel low, and employers, people on the street, specifically employers, need to be more understanding that these things, they are invisible illnesses. You can walk into somewhere and, even just by the look on your face, you can get judgment. And I believe that it's absolutely unfair. There's discrimination against even, disabilities that you can see, physical disabilities, and a lot of employers won't hire. And people need to be more understanding that we're still functioning, we're still human beings. We can do things, there's a lot of things that I have trouble with, like emotion management, things like that. But it's a lifelong struggle, and people that are quote unquote normal need to understand that even with invisible illness, you need to be, that they're working harder than the average person to be stable, to hold down a job, to get healthy income, and to be in a place emotionally where they can struggle, and I find myself hard to deal with sometimes because of my mental illness, and I often wonder how other people would be able to deal with me. And it lowers your self-esteem, and we need people out there that are going to be empowering everybody with any illness. It's ridiculous how, the public is portraying invisible illness as unemployable, unable to hold down a proper living situation, hold down a job, things like that, when we're more than capable of doing that. But we need support from the employers, from everybody around, to realize that just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there, but we're still high-functioning members of society.
What if a person that had invisible disabilities came up to you, as I did, that had a huge dream because of prior history of belonging to vocation services that actually greatly benefited her life, that worked on individual need basis depending on the diagnosis, depending on the help that the person may receive and have it lifelong. And then on top of that, dreaming